Hello, this is Nicole Joseph with Pause.com here at the 2008 Cable Positive Power Awards, and I'm here with Bill Roed. He is the Vice Chairman of MTV Networks and the President of MTV Networks International, and he's being honored tonight with the Joel A. Berger Award for HIV/AIDS Prevention and Awareness. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You've been with MTV for nearly 20 years now, and over that time you've worked to bring HIV/AIDS related programming to your viewers. Why or how did that become a personal passion of yours?
Well, it was more of an evolution. It didn't happen like a light switch, but we have to understand that MTV is programming to a young audience, 16 to 24 primarily, and most of the new infections, really in memory, many years back, have been that demographic. It's the hardest hit demographic. So it was really a very natural thing for us to program HIV messages on our channel because we reach that audience. And as we went around the world, we're now in 160 countries, almost 2 billion viewers. It became not even an option. You know, we had to do this because of our vertical connection with the audience, and it always pops up as one of the main issues, main concerns of our audience everywhere in the world.
Right. Now, you've been quoted as saying that fighting HIV must become a part of the DNA of every company, specifically media companies. Why, in general, do you feel that the media is able to reach youth, and why is that something they should do?
Well, number one, the DNA part, to reach, the reason the DNA is so important is because it can't be tied to any one person. And it really needs to be part of everybody's day-to-day activity, no matter who you are, particularly in a media company. And the reason that's also important is because you don't want it to be just a PSA. You want it to be much more creative and go much more vertical. So you want it written in the scripts.
Right.
And you want your employees to know so much about it that it just comes natural to have it woven into all your programming. And to show, for example, just one example, that living with HIV is part of life. And safe sex and prevention, whatever, abstinence or safe sex, whatever, is critical to stopping the epidemic.
Right.
So media companies, to get to your second question, have a critical role to play because media is a force of change. We all know that. It can be a force of good. And, when's the last time you heard of media being a force of good? Well, in this case, media can be a tremendous force of good because media can actually save lives.
Right.
And we work very closely with the UN, UNAIDS, Georgia Arnold, myself, Georgia, who runs this campaign on a day-to-day basis. And the UN has said that media can actually save more lives than doctors. Now, that's not to denigrate, of course, the role of doctors being very important, but it is an example of how powerful media is and that it really isn't an option. Media has to be part of this fight.
Right. Now, sex is often a very taboo topic. How much criticism or what challenges have you faced in trying to bring programming, especially to youth?
Well, we have channels all around the world, and they reflect local cultures, and because of that, they change quite a bit, and we're always in a regulatory maze, if you will. But we follow the guidelines very closely. But with that being said, MTV obviously pushes the envelope, and one of the reasons for our success in having this connection with young people is that we are known to tell it like it is,
right.
Straight talking. So, the channels in combination with all of our digital products, principally our Staying Alive website, you can come to as a young person and get the true story. Whether that's about how you prevent, and we've had everything from condom instruction on air to Nelson Mandela talking about stigma and discrimination. So there's quite a range there, but occasionally we do push the envelope, but that's because young people come to us as a source for fighting HIV and AIDS and preventing the epidemic.
Right. Got you. If you had to pick, what would you say has been the HIV initiative that you've worked on that you've held dearest to your heart?
Oh boy, we've done so much over the years. We've had the privilege of working with a lot of great role models, and so I'll say two things. On one side, we've worked with wonderful leaders, presidents and prime ministers and Nobel Peace Prize winners. And we once did an hour special with Nelson Mandela where we brought members of our audience to question him about his experiences and all the adversity he's faced in life, and drawing the analogy and how we can, beat the epidemic and fight the hopelessness that sometimes exists. So I think those efforts, give us tremendous memories. But I'll quickly add the second part. The real heroes in this fight, and the ones that really provide the inspiration, are normal young kids who are most impacted by the epidemic. They are either living with HIV, maybe even have AIDS, or if they don't, they have just contributed themselves to helping to fight the epidemic. And our foundation works with quite a few of those young people in 31 different countries now around the world. A lot in Africa. And by the way, Africa has a big role in teaching the rest of the world how to fight the epidemic. We've seen incredible leadership from young people in Africa. But not only Africa, India, Russia, China, really in all the hardest hit areas of the world, and every country in the world, we've seen young people be part of this fight. And I think in many ways, when you ask, what is the proudest or we reflect on the most, it's really seeing those young people giving themselves, unselfishly, with tremendous energy, passionately. It's really quite incredible and inspirational.
Okay. That's great. And just to wrap up, what does the rest of 2008 and the future hold for HIV and AIDS programming on MTV?
Stay tuned. It'll be a lot. We will do everything. We're going into the field a lot more even. We're known for being a series of local networks around the world. So we have been, in all these countries, but we're going to drive vertically in countries all around the world with our AIDS programming and really truly localize the experiences, because we find often that's the most impactful messages, not only, from a grassroots point of view, but also on the air. So a lot more programming, a lot more local. We're encouraging businesses to sign up and, to pledge and be part of this fight, and especially media companies, and specific pledges, contribute airtime, local relevant messaging, and very importantly, everyone who produces any sort of programming, we've been doing this for some time, has to do it rights free. And what that means is everybody in the world has access to the programming. No branding, no money, no strings attached, just run it. So very importantly, we'll continue to encourage media companies to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking with us, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.